victorious tonight. Dave Amber, Ray Ferraro.
Hope you enjoyed the game. Yes, we will have a Game 7 Monday night, Montreal and Boston in the ESPN2 studios. Ray Ferraro, David Amber. We dubbed this race Survival Saturday. Finally, someone living up to that bill. Montreal surviving to see a 7th game. What impressed you most about what they did tonight?
Well, I like the way that after giving up that first goal, they just stayed with their game plan. They didn't start running all over the place. They didn't start putting pressure on the Bruins by scrambling out of position. And the Bruins just have not found a way to slow down Saku Koivu, Alex Kovalev, and Richard Zednik. That line's combined for 17 points in this series. Since they were put together in Game 3, the Bruins just have not found a way to stop them.
And their impenetrable defense apparently can be penetrated. They've allowed 10 goals over the last 2 games. Granted, the last 2 were into an empty net. But how does Boston now refocus and regroup for obviously a do-or-die situation on Monday?
Well, we've said, Joe Thornton has to come up and play a big game for the Bruins. Maybe he's not capable physically of playing a big game for the Bruins. In the 3rd period, Mike Sullivan shifted his lines around. He got Glenn Murray off of the wing of Joe Thornton, put him with Michael Nylander and Sergei Samsonov. Look for that in Game 7. Maybe you look for Joe Thornton in a secondary role, not a primary role. What I'm most interested in, their rookie goaltender, Andrew Raycroft, has given up 8 goals, as you mentioned, the last couple of games. It'll be interesting to see how he bounces back in Game 7. He will have to be very solid. It's tough playing Game 7 at home, but you play all year for that extra game for the advantage of having the fans with you.
All right, well, we have loads more coming your way at the Bell Center. We send it out to Dave Ryan and Neil Smith. Guys? Oh, we'll send it out in just one sec. First, we're going to go to the Flyers and the Devils. And we have Game 5 action. The Devils trying to hold on for dear life, but it's Alexei Zhamnov right there giving them the lead.
Perfect pass from Tony Amonte after Roenick threw it out front, and Zhamnov puts it in. Martin Brodeur had his best game of the series, made 35 saves. Here a couple of saves on Keith Primo. Brodeur had been a struggle-type series for Brodeur, but he played very well today. And Scott Niedermayer late in the 2nd period with a beautiful backhander to tie it up. But Danny Markov with a softie. Brodeur normally stops this shot. This is a 45-foot wrister right on the ice. Brodeur should stop this. Puts the Flyers up 2-1, and then Sammy Kapanen's going to seal the deal with 8 seconds left, and the Flyers go on to round 2.
Yeah, a huge win, and there is your hero, Robert S. closing the door yet again. Flyers move on in 5 games. The defending champs knocked out in this one. Scott Niedermayer trying to step in and fill the void for Scott Stevens, but unable to do so. 3-1, Flyers is your final. All right, Ray, well, what do you think? The defending champs done. What happened there?
Well, the Flyers forwards, in my opinion, were too big, too strong, and too fast for the New Jersey Devils. And without Scott Stevens' presence on the blue line, they felt free to roam around the front of the net. When Stevens is in the lineup for the Devils, you just have to be a lot more careful. When I played and Stevens wasn't in the lineup, it's a lot freer to go to the front of the net, and you felt that when he was out of the lineup. Also, they didn't get much production, actually no production, from Friesen and Langenbrunner. Last year, they were 2 heroes leading their team to the Stanley Cup Finals. This year, they got skunked. They became a one-line team, and the Philadelphia shut them down. The Flyers played an excellent series, and Robert Esche was very good.
All right, well, we see the Flyers move on, and the Bruins and the Canadiens, one of those teams, will be moving on. Dave Ryan and Neil Smith, loads more at the Bell Center.
All right, Dave, thanks so much. And Ray made a great point, Neil, I think, that Andrew Raycroft, a 23-year-old goalie for Boston, has never gone a 3-game stretch, giving up 3 or more goals. Now it's 4 games in a row. So you have a rookie netminder in between the pipes for Game 7 at home. How does he respond?
Well, he has to respond. He really doesn't have any choice. He's got to keep himself composed. But why the Boston Bruins are in this situation, they were up 3-1. Now they're tied 3-3. Raycroft is not playing the way he did earlier. He's not impenetrable like he was earlier. And the big line is not coming through for the Boston Bruins. Ray talked about Thornton, and he's absolutely right. He's not there. For whatever reason, he must be hurt, but he's not there for the Boston Bruins, and he needs to be. That's what's been the key to their success all season long. Raycroft and Thornton up front.
There was a question, end of the regular season, with Thornton in the upper body injury, how healthy he'd be, and no points in 6 games so far. 2nd period, though, that's when things really got going offensively. The Canadiens got on a roll at that point.
Well, here you see it. The Montreal Canadiens got into the 2nd period, and the 2 goals that were scored by Koivu and Perreault really set things up. Remember, the Boston Bruins are the best team, however, in coming back in the 3rd period. 10 times this year they have come back from trailing going into the third, which is unusual in the National Hockey League. They couldn't do it tonight, but they did put a scare into Montreal when Samsonov got his second goal of the game.
All right, so it's 3-3, a seventh game. Boston has never squandered a 3-1 lead. Montreal's never come back from a 1-3 deficit, Dave. The scene is set coming up Monday in Beantown.
All right, guys, should be a fantastic finish to what's been a very entertaining series, Montreal and Boston. Of course, there were a couple of other games on the table today in the NHL. Could the Wings move on? Would the Preds season be done as well? The Stars, they were in a bit of trouble going up against the Avalanche. Full highlights, full details coming your way on the NHL Tonight.
Now, when you stay at Ramada, you'll earn points towards the things you really want with the largest hotel rewards program ever. Trip Rewards. Think of it as a gazillion more reasons why Ramada is a very good place to be.
See that? That's the best chicken sandwich there is.
They have these inside?
Here? No, you have to go to Wendy's across the street. That's Wendy's new home-style chicken sandwich.
Are you with Wendy's?
Well, unofficially. It has a special new blend of seasonings and a creamy, tangy sauce.
Wow, this is good.
I can't believe this place would let Wendy's do this here.
Hey, I'm calling the cops! Well, my work here is done.
Wendy's new home-style chicken, one of our 3 new Chicken Temptation sandwiches.
Is he coming back?
And our pickup window's open till midnight or later.
We have 170 kinds of beer from all over the world. Call me when you're ready.
I'm ready. Call the Sam Adams. Yeah.
You can go around the world and not find a better beer than Samuel Adams. Always a good decision.
You'd love to draft an All-American, but you'll wait for a Super Bowl MVP. What does your team need? The NFL Draft 2004 begins Saturday, April 24th at noon on ESPN and continues all weekend on ESPN and ESPN2.
All right, boys. I know you might be tired, but we're in full playoff mode now, and we're going to need everything you got. The players are giving their all, and we're going to need you to do the same.
The NHL playoffs delivered daily on ESPN and ESPN2.
Welcome back to the NHL Tonight. Ray Ferraro, David Amber. We're calling it Survival Saturday. 5 games in total. 1 game coming your way in a matter of moments. The Canucks and the Flames from Calgary. Calgary trying to eliminate the number 3 seed Vancouver. We also had some other news surrounding the NHL today. And last night, Blues forward Mike Danton was arrested for allegedly planning a murder for hire. The 23-year-old is accused of plotting to kill an acquaintance who Danton feared would ruin his career with the Blues by telling Blues management about his alleged promiscuity and alcohol abuse. Now, today, as they cleaned out their lockers, his teammates were shocked and appalled at these accusations.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not, obviously, I don't know exactly what went down, so I'm not going to comment on Mike and for the betterment of him, but, you know, I feel for him and I'm praying for him. You know, it's a tough situation. The kid's been through a lot, and I'll say this, he was a good teammate, and he was a good kid.
Now, if convicted, Danton faces up to 10 years in prison. There will be a hearing in St. Louis on Monday. There were some afternoon games in the NHL. As well in the West, the Stars trying to hang on to dear life against the Avs, but Steve Konowalchuk, Ray, getting things done.
Yeah, on the power play, banks it off of Philippe Boucher for a 2-1 lead after 2. And with the game in doubt early in the third, Peter Forsberg with a marvelous rush. This is a bit of a softie past Marty Turco, who did not have a good playoff series. And Marek Svatos, where did he come from? Perfect pass to Milan Hajduk to seal the deal with 11 minutes left. Mike Modano can only wonder what went wrong in this series.
Pretty much everything went wrong. The Avalanche scoring 19 goals against one of the best defensive teams in the entire NHL. We've got to ask you, not only what went wrong for Dallas, but this Avalanche team, boy, everything was falling apart at the end of the year. Everything seems to be clicking right now.
Well, everybody talked about a clear goaltending edge in this series for the Dallas Stars with Marty Turco over David Abisher. Marty Turco, 2 years in a row, has had fantastic regular seasons and hasn't been able to translate that into the playoffs. David Abisher, on the other hand, his first full year as the #1 goaltender in Colorado after the retirement of Patrick Waugh, and he was sensational the entire series. Abisher comes into this playoff as an unknown quantity. Sure, he had a good regular season, but never had to play in the playoffs as he basically watched Patrick Waugh. Today was his easiest game of the playoffs. He had just 21 saves, had 22 shots today, but he was solid when he needed to be. And Colorado was able to get great play from Peter Forsberg in this series. He had 8 points, and as I mentioned earlier, Marek Svatos with the double overtime winner in Game 4. He had 5 assists as well for 6 points. This is a kid that missed the entire regular season. And without Alex Tanguay in the lineup here in Game 5, Svatos gave the Avalanche a shot in the arm. They, too, get 3 or 4 days off to rest some of their injured players. Tanguay didn't play, nor did Paul Kariya.
Well, Dallas is happy they won't have to hang out at the Pepsi Center. 0-4 this year, 15-4 they were outscored. What about the Red Wings and the Preds? The Preds trying to stay alive. Barry Trotz and the gang. This isn't going to help us. 2 minutes in, Ray Whitney opens the scoring. Twice as nice.
And not the start the Predators wanted as Whitney scores his first of the playoffs, and then Robert Lang with a perfect pass to Steve Yzerman. Curtis Joseph hasn't seen a shot yet, and the Red Wings are up 2-0.
And Cujo stopped all 15 shots he faced. Curtis Joseph, 60 playoff wins, 0 Stanley Cups, most by any goalie. 2-0 Red Wings with the win. And what about Steve Yzerman? Captain, terrific, getting it done today. 68th career playoff goal. Look at that list of players, and look who he moves past, Ray. Gordie Howe, Mr. Hockey, surpassed by Super Stevie.
Yeah, Yzerman at 68 playoff goals, as you see, becomes a team leader. But Steve Yzerman's career has evolved through age and injury. And he is obviously not the player that he was 15 years ago, or even for that matter 5 years ago. Radical knee surgery cost him most of last year. Now he's more of an inspirational leader, but he can still produce when the games mean so much. In a series where he had not done much, today he has a goal and an assist, plays about 16 minutes, he's +2, and he wins